the top 1% of all income earners in the United States made 23.5% of all income. Their greed has no end.
People who are in the top 1% in income receive far more than 1% of the attention in the media. Even aside from miscellaneous celebrity bimbos, the top 1% attract all sorts of hand-wringing and finger-pointing. Who are those top 1%? For those who would like to join them, the question is, how can you do that? The second question is easy to answer. Virtually anyone who owns a home in San Francisco, no matter how modest that person's income may be, can join the top 1% instantly just by selling their house. But that's only good for 1 year, you may say. What if they don't have another house to sell next year? Well, they won't be in the top 1% again next year, will they? But that's not unusual. Americans in the top 1%, like Americans in most income brackets, are not there permanently, despite being talked about and written about as if they are an enduring class. At the highest income levels, people are especially likely to be transient at that level. Recent data from the Internal Revenue Service show that more than half the people who were in the top 1% in 1996 were no longer there in 2005. Among the top 100th of 1%, 3/4 of them were no longer there at the end of the decade. These are not permanent classes, but mostly people at current income levels reached by spikes in income that don't last. These income spikes can occur for all sorts of reasons. In addition to selling homes in inflated housing markets like San Francisco, people can get sudden increases in income from inheritances or from a gamble that pays off, whether in the stock market, the real estate market, or Las Vegas. Some people's income in a particular year may be several times what it has ever been before or will ever be again. Among corporate CEOs, those who cash in stock options that they have accumulated over the years get a big spike in income the year that they cash them in. This lets critics quote inflated incomes of the top-paid CEOs for that year. Some of these incomes are almost as large as those of big-time entertainers, who are never accused of greed, by the way. Most Americans in the top fifth, the bottom fifth, or any of the fifths in between, do not stay there for a whole decade, much less for life, and most certainly do not remain permanently in the top 1% or the top 100th of 1%. Most income statistics do not follow given individuals from year to year, the way Internal Revenue Service statistics do. But those other statistics can create the misleading illusion that they do by comparing income brackets from year to year, even though people are moving in and out of those brackets all the time. That especially includes the top 1%.